agreed on doing it the expensive way. Lord knew they could afford it. It was a new way of living that Eric had to get used to. To never want for anything again. To never worry about how to pay the bills again. It was almost overwhelming. Both he and Maria knew which countries they were dying to visit. And now, it was all finally about to become a reality. Eric couldn't stop smiling. He had all his stuff packed in a box on his desk, and once he left the office this very afternoon, he was never coming back.
So, what are you planning on doing with the rest of your life?
His friend Jacob, who had worked for him ever since the beginning in 1999, asked.
Eric shrugged. Travel? Enjoy my family? Maybe write a book or do some conferences where I tell people how I made my fortune? Lay low, seize the day, move to the Caribbean, who knows?
Eric said, laughing.
The world really is your oyster, huh?
Said Jacob. Eric nodded while drinking.
Yup, there is nothing I can't do. I'm free to go wherever I want to go. Free to do and buy whatever I want to, whatever I dream of. As long as I don't go berserk, the money should last for the rest of my life. It certainly is enough. You should be very proud of yourself,
Jacob said.
Well, the deal is good for all of us, Eric said. You're leaving with some $7 million yourself, as far as I recall.
Jacob smiled and nodded.
I most certainly am. I can't deny that.
Eric studied the face of his old friend and companion. They had known each other for so many years and shared so many ups and downs together. It had been a roller coaster, and Eric was glad it was over. Jacob was scrutinizing Eric's face. Eric noticed and smiled awkwardly. He sipped from his glass. He never did like champagne too much. Not the real expensive kind. It was too sour. His wife always said he was never going to make a good member of high-class society. Eric didn't mind that.
You got so serious all of a sudden, Jacob said. You're not having second thoughts, are you?
Eric forced a smile again.
About the sale? No, of course not. This is the best for everybody. That's not what I meant, and you know it, Jacob replied seriously.
Eric avoided his friend's eyes. They both knew perfectly well what he was talking about. It had been on Eric's mind a lot lately. It tore at him and made it hard to really enjoy this day. He couldn't tell Jacob, but he had started to doubt if he was ever going to be able to be really happy, to enjoy this money and his freedom fully, if he had to carry this secret around with him. It just didn't feel right. When he was working day and night to build the company, he had been able to not think about it, to displace it. But he wasn't certain he could do that anymore. Years had gone by since it happened, and keeping it hidden inside was getting harder and harder for him. And he was afraid that Jacob could tell. That was the worst part. Eric knew he couldn't hide his growing doubts from his oldest friend. Jacob grabbed his arm and pulled him aside.
You know you can't tell.
Eric sighed and sipped his champagne. He didn't say anything, but he was considering it. Now that everything was done with the sale, there really was no excuse not to anymore. He knew he wasn't going to be able to live with this secret eating at him from the inside, but he also knew that telling might ruin everything for him. But which was worse? Living with this, having it eating at him for the rest of his life, or spending a few years in jail and having told the truth? Should he maybe wait till the kids were older? No, he had to make things right. He had to tell.
You have sworn an oath, Eric,
Jacob continued.
I know,
Eric said, thinking of the consequences.
But it is eating me alive, you know? Swallow it up like the rest of us. It'll get easier with age. Think about the money and the life you're about to have. You can't say anything. Do you hear me? You just